just went around. Well, it's hammer time. All right. I'd like to call the planning commission meeting to order for Wednesday, April 24th, 2019.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item, first we'll do roll call. So say your name and if you're here.
Janet here.
Lee here.
Cynthia's here. Wim here. And we have Forrest who is excused. All right. So the first item on the agenda is the public hearing for zone change for parcels AV 1337 A1 A1A, AV 1340, AV 1341, AV 1347, AV 1352, AV 1353, AV 1338 A1, AV 1338 A2. And the zone change would be from open space transition, open space conservation to planned development, residential and commercial. So, you want to?
I second.
Well, no, I didn't make a motion.
Oh.
You can make a motion if you want.
I don't want to say all that. I make a motion that we open a public hearing on this now. A.
I second. Okay, vote.
Aye.
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 All right. So, hearing is open. Yes.
Rich Koppel, 1183 East McKinnon, Cedar Point subdivision. I assume they're all across the street from Little Creek, or can we see them on the screen? Or is there a... So, which ones are they?
All of the above.
Yeah. Oh, just everything?
Everything on that.
The whole project? For the most
Right.
part. Okay.
This is the first part of
They got one there.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna move down, this is part
Okay.
Right across the check.
Yep. Thank you.
This is true.
Yes.
Margaret Osowski, 1024 West Little Canyon. I thought that stuff was already approved before. All those lots and stuff when Moser was the mayor.
I think phase 1 and 2, and so what we're trying to do is a development agreement, and when we're in the middle of doing the development agreement, we realize that we're actually approving basically a master plan with the developer agreement so they can do phase 1 and 2. Yet, the development agreement would include more than what was approved. And so what we're trying to do is approve the whole master plan of the project. And to do even the approval on that, we have to have zone changes that our approval would include. So, kind of the way it works is if you have a development agreement that says yes to, a particular phase of this development, but we don't have a zone change, we're basically saying yes to development that isn't zoned properly. And so we have to go through the zoning process to get this approval and process on this whole project so we can move the whole thing forward. It was just, probably wasn't done right before. We're trying to clean it up. Does that answer the question okay?
Yeah.
Did I do that well enough?
Dot their I's and cross their T's.
So.
Questions, concerns? Going once?
Let me just clarify a couple things.
Okay.
The first phase of the Village of Many Nations was approved last fall. And that's right there across from the Chevron station. And that'll be the first phase that's developed. And then there's a 18 lot subdivision across the street from that, a little bit. and that's also been approved. So now the zone change covers all those items, so we can get started, and we're ready to start on both of those.
All
Can you
right.
tell me your name again, please?
Hank Isaacson?
All right, well then I move that we close the public hearing for the zone change for the parcels listed in item A from OST, OSC to PDR and PDC.
Second.
Vote.
Aye.
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 All right. So then the next items on the agenda deal with, looking at the Jepson Canyon final plan review and recommendation.
Actually, what you,
Do you wanna flip flop those?
no, what, I think what you, if I'm not mistaken, what we did is just close the public hearing?
Yeah.
Now we want to vote on the approval of the zone change, is that right?
Well, we closed the hearing and
The
then now
public
we
hearing.
discuss and
Okay,
possible
all right.
action of those things.
I missed the step, I'm sorry.
And that's it. All right, so, and the final plat review and recommendation doesn't need a public hearing. We just wanna make sure that.
It will have a public hearing, but not at this stage. It'll come at the next town
When they're
council meeting
doing
when
the-
they do it.
Yeah.
And if anybody missed the presentation on this project, you should go back to our YouTube meetings. Because it's gonna be a really, really nice project.
I'm pretty sure it's on our website too, under planning.
Yes,
I think I put that embedded in there, so people can see it.
because if you missed it, it's gonna be like a trot, and the trot is absolutely wonderful.
I just have one question regarding the highway. I know there's gonna be some changes there. That's part of phase one, correct?
It is, correct, yeah, we've already met with UDOT.
So that's been funded, but then approved, or?
Well, that'll be part of our first phase.
Right.
We'll have to do that as we do the village mini nations and the first subdivision. And we want to thank the mayor for getting 55 speed limit. That's gonna help a lot.
I think I'm the only one that raised it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
But we're all, no, I do too. It doesn't yell at me. Well, is this grid, are we just gonna send this off to the city council?
Yes, it's just a recommendation.
Okay, I make a motion that we forward the Jessup Canyon project zone change from OST/OSC to PDR and PDC commercial to the town council for approval.
I second.
Could that motion specify that because we're talking about so many parcels?
Okay,
and
well,
they
I'll add
zone-
them all in, that,
Well, you don't have to, it's not the parcels, because you've already have that on your agenda, and
Uh-huh.
so those are the parcels. But it's the zones within that, so that you say, as shown on the master plan included in your packet, that says revised 4/22/19.
4/22/19.
If you would include that in your motion, and the second agrees. That way we know where those zones are in that, on all those different properties.
Now, when was this approved?
Let me just,
This is the one that was included in your packet.
Okay, when was it approved? All four.
It's revised, on the bottom it says revised 4/22/19.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the revised edition of 4/22/19 of the Jessup Canyon project zone change. Lots listed in section A from OST/OSC to plan development residential and plan development commercial. Be sent off to the town council for approval.
Okay, I second.
Aye.
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 All right. And then we do need to, make a recommendation for the final plan review. This is what we were supposed to look at with the map, make sure that, it shows all the different zones, their size breakdown, land use.
We have just a second, Cynthia, if you don't mind, just for those that are on YouTube and in the room here. So the next process is we have we have to have a public hearing on the final plan, and it takes a 14-day notice. And so we'll execute that 14-day notice, and at the next town council that's 14 days away from when those notices are executed. So we're talking roughly 3 weeks away. I don't know the exact meeting, but that we have actually a public hearing at the town council meeting on this project for that approval in that meeting. So that's how the process would work. So everybody knows
May
that.
1st is no longer the meeting date. So May 1st is no longer the meeting date.
What's just, it requires a 14-day thing, and and we have to get the notice in house. So based on all of it. So that will be the next step in this process for us to finalize the approval. So
Okay.
that could push us out a bit.
That's 14 days when you get that out.
Well, it's from when Michelle's able to get the noticing, proper noticing done with 14 days notice, then we'll have on that calendar. And that calendar, so this is one step in the process, and now the town council gets on next. And, but we do have to have a public hearing in the town council meeting for this.
All right, so as far as, the Jepson Canyon final plan review and recommendation, we're just needing to send that on to the town council.
Yeah, I
right?
think we've already done everything we need to do, yeah.
Recommending approval.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion, we send the final plan review, Jefferson Canyon, off to the council for review. Approval.
I'm second.
And if you'll include that same language
Oh,
in the
yeah.
second
Because
agreement.
I have
Yes,
to
this particular plan.
22,
It sounds like we're being a little picky, but
It's
if
okay.
you know how many times the
It's okay.
mayor and I have to
We
go
know
back
how
and
it
figure out
is.
which plan.
Better safe than
I
sorry.
second.
Okay.
Aye.
Wait, did you say it?
Yeah, he did restate it for me.
Restatedly.
Yeah, she wants you to restate it for her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I make a motion that we move the Jefferson Canyon final plan review, for recommendation and, approval to the city council based on the master plan revised for 22-19.
Second.
Votes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then,
Now it works.
and then the last item is to discuss the garage ordinance revision updates.
And we did have 20 in there, and I do agree that 25 for I is better.
Yes.
Because most articles have to be in there correctly.
That language I talked about, I added in there, that was item number 7, that wasn't on our last meeting. And I basically just put in there that based on our conversation, this is what I understood the conversation to be, that we would require anything under 5 acres to match the house. This is kind of like HOA zoning. I'm not crazy about this particular sentence, but based on our conversation, this is how you guys, I interpreted you guys wanted it. And then on lots 5 acres and larger, then we can do metal buildings, is kind of how we determined that the temperature in the room was for most people. And so item number 7, that's the new stuff since our last meeting.
Yeah, but he said that no businesses be run out of garages.
Well, that's in
I think
our
that's
ordinance.
elsewhere anyway.
Yeah.
I did very good.
We already have, I think, that in other ordinances.
Okay, I'm not a construction person. Something that's like a lean-to, is
Yeah.
it because it's
Like a
leaning?
garage without the wall.
Well,
Okay, but is it because it's leaning?
No, just.
Okay,
just
so is that the right
expand
spelling
it.
of?
Yeah.
Okay, because I always thought it was leaning.
Should be L-E-A-N.
Oh, it should be L-E-A-N? Okay, so that's what I was wondering, is that
Yeah,
kind of
lean.
lean-to is because it's leaning up against?
Bank term.
That's like a bank.
Yeah, and you have a lean, yes.
L-E-A-N.
It's a bank lien.
so we'll have Michelle correct that on here. So,
Well, see, and I don't know the construction terminology, so I was making sure I was getting that right.
Chair, I do
Yes.
have one question, and that is the use of the word traditional steel buildings. I'm just wondering if it's just a steel building that you're wanting to address here, unless the term traditional steel building is defined. I think it'd be difficult for a court to say, I don't know what
What's
a
traditional and
traditional.
what's not?
Right,
Just
but it
like-
sounds like steel buildings is what you don't want.
so we could just pull the traditional out and leave it steel.
Yeah, so while you're correcting the lien, you can also
Correct.
maybe recommend.
Steel building.
They all industrial grade or something like that. Or we can just leave it as steel.
Yeah.
Okay, that-
Take
sure.
traditional.
Yeah.
They just don't want these steel buildings in these 1 acre neighborhoods, you know. We get a lot of pushback from people that are here with that kind of stuff.
So we change it to metal in case you want an aluminum building?
Well,
You know what, that's probably not a bad
That's,
idea.
I know, probably it's not a bad idea to,
Steel slash
and we still have
aluminum.
time between now and the council meeting to
You wanna do
to
copper
make sure
or-
that that's the exact terminology that you want to use for that.
That's a really good idea. Lisa.
So metal,
Does tin fit in steel?
or we can call them metal, right?
Yeah, why don't
Metal.
you call it metal?
Yeah, you
That
can say it
covers
quickly.
everything.
Do we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Margaret Osaki, 1024 West Little Canyon. I just wanted to let the planning commission know that I went around and did some research on developments kind of like what we have out here on on 1 acre lots. And they were Dameron Valley and Winchester Hills and Diamond Valley. And there wasn't any, only in Winchester Hills, they had 3 that had garages in the front. And the rest of them didn't have any garages in the front, but they had the metal building and the Connex things all in the backyard. There wasn't any accessory buildings in the front, everything was in the backyard. So I would, would you
Or
take that into
outside.
would you take that into consideration?
Unless you have a ledge in your backyard, right?
I-
See, that was the other problem we had. is
Well-
Some of these lots are, you build your house and there's a ledge. You got-
I think we used Forrest as an example on that, where he's probably 75 feet off the cliff side on some of these. And there's a ton of them here where they've gone right up against the cliff. Whether they're on the cliff or they're even below the cliff, they go toward back of the property, and now they got nowhere to build a garage. And there's just so many property owners that are affected by that. And it's everywhere.
I'm affected by it because of all the big rocks I have. in my
But as long as it's a
backyard.
1 acre lot, and building at least in the same, you know.
So you guys are gonna approve like Connex in the front yard?
I don't think Connex
How
is
about
the
garages?
first anyway.
Well, it says accessory buildings have to be of the same texture and,
But they're not.
well, that's what we're proving right now.
And you gotta have.
Like so there's never been a rule against it until today, and that's what we're trying to do.
Trying to get rid of them.
Anymore.
Do you wanna,
Stop from
do you
breathing.
wanna put it, you can't do numbers for that, I mean, that's, but I mean, we're trying to say that accessory buildings have to be the same color and texture as a house. So if your house is stucco, it's gotta be the same color and texture, and it's gotta be stucco. So you gotta go and stucco your Connex, is what we're basically saying.
So you're not gonna approve any of those metal buildings in the backyard then?
Are we talking about a 200 square foot carport, or are we talking about, 1,000 square foot metal building? What, can you clarify
Well,
what you're talking
metal
about?
building, like a metal garage thing that you can park an RV or all your toys and stuff in.
Yeah, if it's less than 200 square feet, then
No.
less, then, we're not limiting those. But we are, if it's larger than that, yeah, we're saying that you can't do that if it's an accessory building. And, you can look at that language, does it feel like we've covered that in here?
Yeah, I mean, it says all
Because you're
accessory
talking about
buildings.
awnings and things like that, temporary awnings, is that what you're saying?
Those like workshop buildings, I don't wanna use that house that, well, we have in our area, but,
Well, there's just one right around the corner here that's, a metal building, it's on 1 acre. And that's what you're speaking of, right?
That's kind of
I don't
good.
think so.
Like, you got like, on the, I don't know what the last name is, Tom and Linda, they have the down on Mount Zion Drive, and then they got that log cabin, and in the back, they've got a big metal building.
I'm struggling with which person it is, but,
I think that's a Janet. Well, it would be
Well,
Janet,
in any
and then
case-
Wookman, and then their house.
All right, well,
There wasn't much they could do.
this is just to make sure we have our language, this isn't even the hearing, right? We still have to have a hearing on this. All right. So this is just to get this language in, so we can at least discuss
Have a hearing,
something,
yeah.
yeah,
And it doesn't affect them already there.
yes.
Yeah, and the log cabin that's on my road, they're gonna be grandfathered in anyways. And they didn't ask for his permission. So at least this way we'll get people to ask permission.
So I guess we need to, arrange to have a hearing. This.
How big is this one at?
20 by 40 typically. 10 by, that'd be 8 by 40, actually. 8 feet by 40 feet. What's that come out square foot was? I lost my phone.
Okay, so that would fit in. So, we're going to do that one on the 8th?
I have to
That'd be
14
320
days, so it
feet.
would have to be, actually, I think I already. This one's for the next planning commission meeting.
Okay, we need to clean up the language in that too.
The hearing for this is at the next planning commission meeting.
Okay. So, we'll have the hearing for this on the 8th. On the 8th?
Yeah.
All right. And then that's when we'll be looking at all fixed up with,
Lean to stuff, right, and all.
You guys have all, does this include all the corrections that you want made?
I think so. I think it covers what we were on. Wow. Yes. Yes, it is. I'll give you mine with a little mark.
You guys are on the house.
Okay. So that is it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, okay, vote. Aye.
Aye.
It's gotta be a record, 6:30, I'm sure there's something else we
Not
can
too
do.
bad.
I've never left your one. I know.
Very good, Cynthia. It's a private river. I just wanna know if I know my figure, let me remember. You guys, this is an artist.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, really, might be, recycled.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Brendan, yeah, we're sliding down today.